Good morning, and it's Motivational Monday, and we want to say thank you for waking up with us this morning as we do our job in motivating you. So, as we talk about Monday motivation and looking back in 5 years and connecting, we want to let you know that if you've been with us the whole way and you've now understand breakthroughs and connecting with yourself and finding your way to do that, congratulations. But if you are new, we still want to celebrate you in being able to find your healing journey right now. Lines are open, ladies and gentlemen, and our new toll-free number is 1-888-721-9260. That is our customer service number. We always want to have that for you, and here's why. Because sometimes every day is not a best day for you. We want you to be able to reach out to us. And as you reach out to us, we want you to be able to take a moment and think about all the podcasts that we put out for your easy listening, as we have been 5 years and counting. Thank you so much, everybody from around the world, literally. As a whole, we have actually, guys, had thousands of listeners at one time or another. We've had a lot of new things happen, and my co-host will come in a second and share with me as we look back and jog some of your memory of the things that we've talked about. Because we've talked about a lot here. Just in the last couple of days, we closed our deal on a brick and mortar building. We now have an inside building right here in my hometown of California. And as we have this, ladies and gentlemen, we will still have for your convenience, you to join us right here on Zoom. We have an increase of number. Good morning, Trish. We have an increase of number here, and thousands of you have been listening just since we've been gone. I just looked at our demographics, and here's why I want to talk about demographics, is because we want to make sure that we are reaching out to you in the community, okay? In the community around the world, no matter what or how you are able to reach us. It was so important to Trish and myself to get the toll-free direct connect for you, and it's been coming all along, and we're so grateful for it. We want to keep it professional. So today we're going to have a look back. We're going to give you information. You're going to be able to do all the things you guys have been asking us all year long. And you ask us, how much does it cost? How much does it cost? our podcasts are free. And I want to tell you, anybody that wants to donate, okay, because we have a lot of people that aren't in a position to, and we understand that, you're still going to be able to come into the program of Vibe Talk Facing the Lion, because it's all about talking about your feelings, your emotions, and being able to do group sessions as well as do individual sessions. And I will customize them for you. So our donation factor is set up under Cashapp, and you'll find us under Vibe Talk Face the Lion. Everybody got that? Because people have been asking, what can they do? And I keep telling people that even if you were the poorest man or woman on the earth, we want to keep it simple. We don't want to discriminate. We don't want to make you feel like, well, they're not what they really said. I worked very hard to look for us a place in that we're able to come to a community center, okay? And once we get the flyers out, you will know more about it, and it will be on our Facebook page and our Instagram page for you to basically use at your discretion, okay? So we want you to feel free. Good morning, Trish. How are you?
Good morning. I'm not feeling well this morning, but I'm getting better.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. You could have checked out today.
I know, I know, but my healing is I have to sit down all day, so that's what I'm doing.
Okay. Okay. Well, there you heard it from our co-host. We're hoping that you're going to be on the mend, and thank you for coming. Okay. So first things first, we talked about where you can find us on Cash App. You'll see that, and we don't want you to feel obligated because of our longevity here in the last 5 years. You know, there's been a lot of monetizing that Facebook talks about. We are not here for the money. Come a little closer. I said we are not here for the money. This is to help anybody that wants to be helped. We want to, whatever you're donating in monetary funds, it's going to go back into the program. Nobody gets rich, okay? And we want to have a place where people can feel like they can come. And in that place, because we're opening our doors, okay, December 3rd, we want to have a space for men and women. We want to do a stress class for both men and women. We want to do men and emotions class where they can come and talk about their stresses. And we don't want you to feel afraid. We want to make it accessible to you because men are under stress, which reminds me, as we look back, we talked about men and emotions. We are going to name parts of our center about men and emotions where they can come and talk. It's going to be for men, women, families, and children. I am so excited. 5 years and still connecting. We're going to do this, and we're going to be able to finally meet together. So what's going to happen to everybody that's been on virtual with us. Well, every time those classes run, you will be able to get on and have a part as well. So we're going to allow you to have insight. The only thing that you will not have insight into is the personal group sessions, the individuals, the one-on-ones. But you're going to have access to the men and emotions. You're going to have access to women, uh, and I mean that like this. So don't take that and run with it. You're going to have the access to the women in conversation. Anybody who wants to come into the group may do so. And we ask that you be respectful. Remember when we started that, Trish? Everybody be respectful.
Yes, I remember.
Yeah. What was the reason for that? That we put that message out there when we first started? You remember?
Because we're respecting everybody's space. And we did have that thing where we don't talk out to each other. We still have that, guys. But the reason that we did that was because um we don't know what that other person's going through, and what you say to another person, it matters. So we're respecting each other's space and listening in to each other, listening to each other. So yeah, that's why we had that.
Yeah. Even when you come in, for those of you who are going to come in person, you're going to get a lot of time to be able to interact as a group. And we're going to keep it where it's safe for everyone. We don't want you to disagree or agree. We want you to be able to support anybody who's talking. When you have the experience that I've had in that you're grouping people and group sessions and individuals, it's important that we pay attention. So we're going to ask at that time that everybody give space to the person speaking. Because we're going to have a lot of people that speak. And the nicest thing that you could ever do to somebody is hear them when they speak. We've talked about that in our 5 years and connecting to give a person your ear. You've heard the saying of lend me your ear. In this case, we're going to allow everyone to know that we are paying attention and that Vibe Talk Facing the Lion has been and always will be a place that they can come and they can talk. And we're going to keep it simple. Here's what else we're going to do as we encourage you virtually. Remember, Trish, when we had the guest, you bring a guest. You remember that? And if you don't, just tell me no.
I remember. No, I remember though.
Yeah. How'd that work out? Do you remember anything about that? 5 years and connecting?
I remember because I actually bought a guest to Vibe Talk
Yeah, you
before.
did. Yeah,
So so
yeah.
it was a great experience, and the thing is, right, when you bring a guest, it doesn't change the fact that, your space is respected. And don't worry, you'll have your time to speak, and your guest will have their time to speak. Um, it's the experience of, regardless if you bring a guest, and we also have shout outs too. We do that too. If you have a birthday, anniversary, weddings, we love to hear those. And we just we like having guests. You can bring your guests if you want to.
Mhm. Yeah. And so we want you guys to know that. By the way, who remembers this? And I'm going to jog your memory just a little bit. And we used to, 5 years in connecting, anyone that got on our page, we would do this, what I'm about to do. So bear with me. And here we are. Um, hold on just 1 second while I find it. I'm going to find it. Remember when we used to, when people would find our page, say such and such found our page, thank you. Remember when we would do that?
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah, now I'm going to do it. Kevin Davis, thank you all the way from Illinois. Thank you so much, Kevin, for liking our page. Why are we doing that? Because we are grateful for those of you who are looking for our page. There's no force here, no force of any kind. We're here for the public, and that's why we tell you so much about us. How did you feel about that, Trish? Being that we used to give shout outs to the new people that would come in.
It felt great because we're acknowledging somebody for taking the time to like our page, to watch it, and believe it or not, guys, that's support. You're supporting us like that, and we appreciate it very, very much.
So we want it to be accessible to you. Every time we come on, you have the right to click the button and come on. There is absolutely no forcing because we know eventually you're going to find us and you're going to comment and you're going to like our reels. There was a time we had no reels, guys, because I didn't know what they were. 5 years in connecting, we've discovered that the reels that we have here have affected people. I can think of some that has been beautiful and that it has really struck a chord with me. One of the reels are our own Facing the Lion. I love that one. And I've used it quite a bit for intros, such as this one by our very own Trish. Who remembers that one? We've had a lot of music in here. And Facebook, Instagram has tried to intervene. And we appreciate that, but all of our music, all of our sound has been for the purpose of education and the purpose of healing. We would come in, Trish, brought this out the other day, we would come in and actually have music in the background. And I stopped doing that because Facebook was always sending me a reminder, and I didn't want the educational part of our videos to be muted because what we have is important. So our platform is not being used to profit. Our platform is being used for people who are looking and people who are at the end of their ropes and people who just want to get connected to themselves and have a fresh start. So we feel that our message is important and we don't have time for worrying about how many things we need to put up. We have so far 400 and something plus videos. So I think that's enough. Even if we were to go on vacation, you will have enough to listen to. So knock yourselves out. You might find something that really resonates with you. And we want to hear from you guys when you want to talk about which ones have been helpful to you. How many actually have been helpful to you? Because we're here every day and we're talking every day. What we try to do is have conversations that are really about your being able to connect. And we've been doing this for years. We're going to now take a look back at some of the things that we've had, starting with the most recent, Evolve. That's one that's streaming now. We have Facing the Lion, Facing Challenges. Think about Thursday. And here is one that I want to make sure that you all have because we were not live then. In that one on Think About Thursday, which was not always Think About Thursday, Think About Thursday was a table talk at one time where we would invite our regular listeners to be able to sit virtually and talk out to the audience. Why did we do that? Because we wanted them to have the privilege of speaking. They were the examples. Trish was a table talker. We had so many others who earned that. And many people wanted to do that, but you had to work for it. So here is what we're doing now, and I want you to take a look at the most recent. We turned our what was Think About Thursday or Table Talk into Think About Thursday. It's a way to reflect on yourself, and we ask questions that you can do exercises. There's never going to be a dull moment here if you're looking for something to do. And here's the latest one we've got for Think About Thursday. How do you say no? Prioritize. How do you say no to these things? Prioritizing. How do you? I'm sorry. How do you say no? How do you prioritize your needs? How do you set boundaries? How do you disagree with people? How do you be an honest person? How do you challenge poor behavior of yourself and others? How do you walk away from toxic environment, people, places, and things included? How do you accept and acknowledge mistakes? How do you stand up for yourself? And how do you protect your time and space? Lo and behold, we started doing that in a form of reflection for ourselves. And here's our feedback. I just want to share with you our ideas. And when Trisha and I come together and we set something on the table and we say, how does it look to you? And she gets to ask me things. Just because I'm the host doesn't mean that I don't have any adjustments. That's what I love about the way Trisha and I work, because her ideas are just as important. I want to share with you feedback on the answer for how do you. We have replies from that, and I'm so happy. And I want you to listen to this. And let me go back here. I'm still learning ropes here, but we even have a space for that. And I'm going to
And I feel
listen
like
to this.
I think there's so many ways to do this, and I feel like I've navigated these situations in different ways in my life. But currently, what's really working for me is listening to my instincts, trusting my gut, and when something feels off, taking a moment to really deeply think about it, and have a nice combination of logic and emotion, I think, when dealing with these things. And just being honest, being clear with myself about my standards and being clear with others about them as well. Thank you for these questions. They are incredibly, they bring up a lot. So thank you.
So what do you all think about that? We're getting replies, and that's what we want. You know, so many doors have been opened, and I'm so thankful for all that has been for Trish and I. We could not have done this without Jehovah God's hands in this. And we're so grateful for all that you guys have done. You're supporting us, which doesn't mean that you got to be here when we're here. You can be anywhere and decide, hey, I want to sit down and I want to listen to Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast. You can be in your bed. You can be out, reflecting with yourself. You can be with your family. By the way, these podcasts are accessible to you to be able to share them with your friends and family. The only thing that I ask that you not do is voice over, because that takes away from the idea of what we were trying to do. And we have something to say. Trish, anytime you want to step in, you may. I want to give you guys another example of what we've done with Think About Thursday. And I'm going to share that with you right now about Think About Thursday. And we've just had such a great time doing this. We have had such a great
You are
time.
very welcome, and thank
Hold
you
on
for
just one
participating
moment.
in that question.
We have another one that we want you to hear. And here we are.
Oh, I love that. I love those questions. I feel like initially I was worried because I'm like, oh, I don't remember any of these things. I'm not sure I'm going to get the answers right. But then you turned it into such a lovely little meditation on the things that matter. And that was just a really nice journey to go on. Thank you so much for this post.
So people are feeling very grateful for these. And when we ask to hear from you guys, that's your time. When we started our group virtually, people used to get upset. Do you remember that, Trish? Because they used to say, well, if we can't talk out, when do we talk? Remember how they would have attitude?
Yes, I remember.
Yeah. So we had to explain to them that there would be a time to talk. And boy, have we found time to talk. It's been like no other podcast, because sometimes you'll have a podcast, or sometimes you'll do a live and you've got 25,000 people talking all at one time. Well, because we felt that your mental and your emotional health is so very important, as well as your physical health, we made it so that we would turn some of our segments into questions or change them into thinking and reflecting. So now that we're asking you guys to talk, we want you to talk, talk, and talk more. So that's what our look back at 5 years and connecting formed into even now. Wow, have we come so far? You never know what is going to transform. And here's the deeper message is that because we've got this podcast and people are feeling positive toward what we're doing, we're going to keep on because what you see about our days sometimes are not going to always be the same. The environment, the vibe will still be the message, but we can always change to create, and it still bear the same message. Just about, talk about, think about Thursday. And it's been such a beautiful thing, and I'm so grateful to have this platform. And I want you guys to be able to understand that you're free here. You don't have to be committed, but the more that you talk, the more that you are going to be able to find the answers. You heard the callers that talked about finding or thinking about and reflecting. That's the result that we want, is for you to be able to think about, for you to be able to access and bring to birth what your healing journey looks like. And most of all, ask you questions that maybe you've never given thought to. Even if you see them on Facebook, we do not want you to pass them. We also did a Barbie version of what today's woman looks like. Who do you want to be? Who do you think you are? If Barbie can be, you can be. You're possible. And so, as we connect for the next 5 years, we want you to really go back and think about why we put the one about Barbie up. Why was that so significant? Okay. Because women come from all walks of life. And women have to have the right perception. Not what society says you should have, but you yourself. Society will stick you with a label. You will listen to songs that will tell you what you are versus what you are not. And so we have songs that fit very nicely with our subjects. Beautiful Scar. We talk about you are beautiful. Just sometimes we meet people in life, especially this time of year. Why this time of year are there so many people that are dealing with stress, depression, so much? So when you're at your tables celebrating your holiday, I want you to think about the ones who are less advantaged and make it genuine, not just on a holiday, but to think about these women and men who are less fortunate. Because every beautiful woman, every woman may not feel good about herself. So we put that message out there through Barbie because we know that you could connect, because everybody has played with Barbie. She's been the all-American woman. And really, when we're buying those dolls up, we should take a look and think about who we are and what we can become. You know, we are not living in the dark ages, but yet there are people who are walking around in darkness. I'm giving you a moment to reflect on what I just said and how it hits home. There are mothers, there are grandmothers, there are aunts, there are sisters, wives that have come from darkness who are trying to find themselves. We want you to know you can be all that you can be and more. So we hope that message hit you hard. Oh yeah, don't forget, we did one on men too. See, because there is no favoritism in Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast, 5 years and connecting. We dealt with men who are told, don't cry, don't show emotion. Stop that. You're supposed to be the man. Show them how it's done. When really we want to say to the men, it's okay to cry. It's okay to feel stress. It's okay to feel as though the elephant is laying on top of you, as long as you don't allow that elephant to stay. You learn how to get the elephant off of you. Everybody get that? We've taken the man, the father, the grandfather, the brother, the son, the husband, the lover, and we put him in a category to say he is human. Just because he's a man doesn't mean he doesn't get to show emotions. So we took a real raw look at that. And we also addressed the situation of men also being in darkness sometimes. You say you want a good man. You say you want a wonderful lover. You say you want him to do better, be strong. But now when we think about all of that, how are we perceiving that man that we want him to be? We look at men and their relationships. We have interviewed fathers. We have interviewed men. We have sat down face to face and have the men's expression. And that's why I think it's important to include from that men and emotions, so that there are men who come in and they can talk about their feelings. Because a lot of times when we think and reflect, it changes our actions on what we might have done had we not expressed ourselves. So if you men are out there, that's a new thing that we're going to be starting. You're going to be able to come in. You're going to be able to hear from men who have started their own businesses, men who have been fathers and don't get to see their children. You're going to know how to access your emotion through your peers. You laugh at that, but hold on to the laughter, because you say, you guys are not men. We all have fathers, whether dead or alive. That's how we got here. We've addressed that. We all have brothers, some of us. We learn through them. So even our male company, our male environment, can teach us. And we're going to really learn. We're going to be doing some in-depth talking, and that's what we are. We're a support group for those who want to get help. I am a certified life coach, life and wellness coach. Um, I've been trained to do this. I am a educator, and I have retired from the little people, even though they're going to be incorporated into this program as well, being able to work with them alongside their parents because their parents who are struggling. And so many parents need the help. Preventing them from doing something that they would not necessarily do had they talked it out first. There's a place for them. Parenting, couples, we're going to address it all. Oh yeah, there's more. As we look back 5 years and counting where we have evolved from until now, Trish and I have so many ideas. We've even committed ourselves to having 15-minute meetings because sometimes those meetings go into more than 15 minutes, don't they, Trish?
Yes, they do.
Yeah. So because we value each other's time, and I know me, sometimes I can go over. I got an idea. I say, hey, Trish, I got this idea, and then we end up talking about something else. But we realize that time is out there. So we're not necessarily going to give you 1,000 videos in one day. We want to give you a video for you to really. So if you think about Thursday, that's going to be your chance to sound off. We have our toll free direct connect. I went through some things yesterday on it. It's really neat, and we look for bargain prices to be able to compare and see, okay, where do we spend our money? Okay, that's our pocket money. Okay, so we've learned how to do things without having to have the most expensive, the most glamorous. So this 800 number is a toll-free direct connect. It's 1-888-721-9260. Looking back 5 years and connecting the changes. I went back to my very first Vibe Talk, speaking of music, and we went back and we thought, wow, out of that came Vibe Talk After Dark. Because you know what? As Trish knows this too well, music is a form of healing. So for every music thing we put up, Facebook would try to mute it. We thank you, Facebook, that you considered our dispute because I disputed them, and Facebook came back and said, we've restored your videos. But because of that, Trisha and I found other ways in which to still keep them streaming. And you know how to find us. Spotify, iHeartRadio, we're streaming. YouTube. So when you're asking, what happened to Vibe Talk After Dark music or Vibe Talk After Dark radio show, you can now even Google us into Vibe Talk After Dark radio. See, because back then, 5 years and counting back, we didn't think it to be that I would be introducing our sister station of Vibe Talk After Dark. It just was going to start out as a radio show with someone else that I had in mind, and I found out something. If it doesn't work, don't try to make it work. There are some things that we see on Facebook that really works nicely for some people, and we see them progressing, and we clap for them. And then someone else will try to do the same thing, and it isn't a fit for them. However you go about with your transformation or your evolving from something to do better or best at it, let it be somewhere you fit. And if it's not fitting for you, you have options. And that's what happened with the music, because after doing the first one, I felt like, well, maybe that's not going to work. But then I started thinking, wow, I really love music. What do I do with this? Because Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast was meant to be exactly what it is right now. So I had that very first one. I spent the day looking for to have it, and I want to put it out there so that you guys know what we look like at first. And then compare it to, wow, they've had to do some changes. That's just what life is. We all have to change and adjust. When you evolve, it has a beginning. I want everyone to understand about evolving, that it involves changing, it involves adjusting, it involves growth. And 5 years in connecting, we have saw growth. We're going to be right back with Trisha's Treasure. Stay with us as we are 5 years and connected. Stay right where you are. We'll be right back. We're back. Yeah, we're going to turn it over to Trish for Trish's Treasures.
Something that I've learned from doing Vibe Talk, I've learned that when you start something and you feel the passion for it and you have an idea and you're really certain that it's going to work out and you can't get past the feeling of I need to do this, then that's something you should be doing. And that's what my segment came to be. At first, when I was given my segment, I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do with this. Like, I don't know how I'm gonna make it work. And then I sat back and I thought about, when you were in when you're what you're doing now as the assistant manager, what you're doing now, it's like the same thing, but it's just more of like putting yourself into it, like putting more of you into it. And so I got into it, and you guys will see it on the Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast channel. You'll see a lot of me on there. I love going outside. I love hanging out with my cats. You guys will see the cats run after me in some of my videos. They love to follow me, and you'll see that I love nature. I love to draw, and I love music. You'll see all those things, and I also love to speak positivity. to other people. And as you guys are on this journey with me and with us, um, something that you should know and you must know is that you cannot live my life. You can only live yours. And it takes work, it takes effort to be yourself and to build with yourself. If you're losing, if you feel like you're losing yourself, it takes a lot of work to find yourself. But all you have to do is start. And whatever start that is for you, I wish you guys the new beginnings for all of you, wherever you want to start, which is doing something like music or a podcast or making a YouTube channel, those things, or just starting off slow like I did. And for me, the start of beginning to do the things I want to do, my beginning was accepting who I am. That was my beginning. And because I took a step forward for accepting who I am as a person, came a lot came with that. Like me accepting that, you're creative. Me accepting that, okay, you have emotions, you have a lot to work on yourself, but that's okay. We're gonna work on that along the road. And I I didn't have to stay on this path. Like I talked about when we had our seminar. Yeah, we had one, guys. Check
Mm-hmm.
that out. Check that out. It's on our YouTube channel. Um, like I talked about on our seminar, yeah, I didn't have to choose to stay on the path of my personal growth, but I did because I am not patient with myself. And if I don't see that it's not working in like a week, then I'm like, okay, this is not working. I got to find something else.
Mm-hmm.
But I stayed with it. I stayed with me. Sorry, that hit hard because it's
Mm-hmm.
it's very deep. Like staying with yourself when you're dependent on everybody else to stay with you. But the person that thought of the idea should be the first person to support the idea. And that's what that's what I've learned for being in Vibe Talk 5 years of connecting. Connecting with myself is supporting myself. And connecting with me is seeing, you know, you have a lot to work on, but that's okay. And the things that you have worked on, celebrate that. And the things that you're thinking about working on, reflect on that and continue to connect with that and access your abilities to be you. So, happy anniversary, Vibe Talk, 5 years and connecting.
You hit hard, I gotta tell you. That's what it's all about. Being raw and real. We've added so much to a Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast. We work so hard as we're working on ourselves to be a better you. That was our saying and still is our slogan. We've learned so much through strategy and hard work. Um, you can find Trisha's treasures everywhere you're listening. Our YouTube channel, it's free. You don't need a subscription or paid subscription. It's free. We want you to find us. We want you to build from this your story. Um, it's just a beautiful thing. And something that you said before we go, Trish, that I truly appreciate is the point of connecting to yourself and being that one who supports you, not looking for anyone else. Because had we done that, we could have given up. I really felt that. It hit me hard when she said about being impatient with herself and saying, if it does not look like it's going to work, and giving up. But she stayed the course by her choice. And that's what we want you guys to do, to stay the course. We want you to be able to, once you have committed to yourself, hey, I want to connect. We want you to start the healing process. And maybe you're going to start your healing process slowly, but slow is better than nothing. Because nothing is not a movement, but slow is an active word, a word of action to do something. And Trisha, thank you for that. You can find Vibe Talk right on our YouTube page. You can even Google it, Trisha's Treasures. I love looking at it. I had the chance to look at Trisha's Treasures, the newest one she's put up. And what I see is courage. What I see is raw. What I see is real. And I hate being on camera. And the irony of that is that I am a photographer when I'm not doing this. I love photography. And that's ironic because I hate being on camera. But Trisha's shown me how to do that. Who cares? You know, because you're on there, you've got a platform, and she's using that platform. But because of my determination, we are 5 years and counting. Next year, we will have the same vibe, but it will look different because we are growing and we're evolving in that growth for it to look like something. So we want to say happy anniversary, 5 years of connecting to Vibe Talk, Facing the Lion podcast. In our closing, we want to ask a question that I keep forgetting to ask you all. What did you learn and discover in this program, 5 years and count, connecting and looking back? And this is Motivational Monday. I'll start with me. I've learned to keep up and be determined with whatever it is that you're doing. You don't need to rush it because it'll come to you if it is meant to be. You know, I was really trying to rush having an in-house office and things weren't looking great. And I kept saying, how are we going to get this? I'm putting out awareness for it. And I just happened to be home one night, very late night, and I ran across an ad. Little did I know that it was going to be the right fit for me and the right platform for me. I was determined to get up and figure out what that was all about. Because I was determined and I set up an appointment, I was able to close the deal the same day because it was the perfect. I'm so grateful for those things. And what I learned today is that you can be all that and more. And remember, don't give up. Stay motivated. And I felt very empowered today. Now I turn the question to Trish. What did you learn about today's programming, 5 years, and connecting as we look back?
I learned that when I started, hold on. I learned that when I was in when I I'm sorry. I don't know why I can't talk today.
That's okay. We're live. It's okay.
um okay, so I learned that when you start something, do it because you love it, not for the profit. Because um when you do something, when for me, if I do something because it's financially great, it's not something that's fulfilling me. Personally, mentally, and emotionally, that's not for me. But I love doing things with meaning and purpose. So I learned that if I am going to start something else or do something else, whether it's music or a career, that I have to think about, am I doing this because I love it, or am I doing this because, you know, it will benefit me financially, or it's because somebody else wants me to do it. So that's what I learned. And also, I have learned that I have a voice and I need to use it more often. Because I remember when we had table talk. It's interesting that you brought that up, because I was going to say that table talk was the reason why I got more practice into like talking more, because before I wasn't really a chatter. So as you guys can see, I'm doing better with talking. So I learned to use my voice, because I have it. It's not gone. So use it while I still have it. And this podcast made me feel motivated, very motivated, and it also made me feel emotional, because it's just amazing thinking back on how far we've came and things like that.
Thank you so much for that, Trish. And thank you, the audience, who clicks the button. Thank you for coming into the virtual rooms. Thank you for listening to our streams. We ask of you only to let us know where you're from, um, not your home addresses, because we like to see how far outreaching we are. So keep in mind that because of the holidays, that we're going to let you all have your holiday. We know family and friends, they're important, but we do have 400 and something videos. So if you want to hear from us, just click on the videos. We want to see many of you tell us your stories and how you evolved into a better person just because. Let us know about your healing journeys. I want to thank my amazing co-host. Thank you. You hit hard. As always, go check out um, Trisha's Treasures. Go check out her music. Please, guys, if you need some happiness in your life, some inspiration, just watch that. And in the meantime, if you like our page, click like, and you can follow us and see what we're looking like. 5 years and connecting. This is Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast on Monday, November the 25th. Thank you all for listening. Have a good day. Because I don't want you just to make a resolution. I want you to think about. I was really about to lose it, then I got the vibe in it. I really took
After I finally, I really let the right.